Good morning everyone, welcome back to another special episode of Unplugged EV Australia. Today's episode I would like to talk about the official statement we have now from Mitsubishi Motors Japan in regards to the battery software problem of the Outlander PHEV. So this will be a very interesting episode, stay tuned. Okay guys, welcome back. I've got the PDF open here. So this is the official statement. Okay, so light. Much better. So this is not an official statement. Someone complained about his car and the battery, of course. Went to the dealer, they did measurements, they sent everything off to Japan. They got a reply back from Japan and they attached this question and answer sheet. It's a 2-page document which I will link down below. Before we start, I want to read the email this PHEV driver got back from his dealership because I found this very interesting. What kind of tone the dealer actually used to describe what is going on with the battery and basically telling the customer, look, we can't do anything anymore for you, don't come back. So this is the email this PHEV driver has received from his dealership. So it says, dear Mr. PHEV driver, thank you for your email. I can confirm that the information supplied came from Mitsubishi Motors Corporation Engineering, which is Japan. Mitsubishi Motors Corporation is MMC Japan. That's the mothership. The way the BMU controls the battery and calculates the state of health was a decision made by Mitsubishi Motors Corporation and will not be changed. The information supplied by the dongle, they mean the PHEV watchdog, will be close to that supplied by the dealer because it is reading the same calculated data from the BMU as their diagnostic equipment. So they confirm the dog is reading the same information as the MUD device at the dealerships. But they're also saying now, not the actual data. So they're saying the dog and the BMU are reading the same information, but this data is not true. The only way to get an accurate reading of the state of health of the battery is when DBCAM, okay, the drive battery auto capacity measurement, which has already been carried out at your vehicle, resulted in a capacity increase. This procedure flattens the battery and recharges it while being closely monitored by the BMU. Okay, that's what we already know. I'm afraid that we would not be able to provide you with any further information. Kind regards, Ariel. That's this Ariel. So this is the email this customer received in Europe, basically saying the dog is right, the dog reads the same information as the MUD device, but neither is correct, because only the DBCAM can determine the true state of health of the battery. Nothing new in there. Okay, let's have a look at the supplied information from Mitsubishi Motors Corporation, shall we? Okay, so, and this was the attached question and answer sheet he received from his dealership, apparently coming from Mitsubishi Motors Corporation in Japan. You can probably see it is not written in English originally because it went through a translator. Sometimes it is a little bit quirky, so you will see. Anyway, so question 1 is, are we talking of an actual degradation of the PHEV capacity? And the answer is no. The issue is about how the battery monitor unit, ECU, calculates the expected degradation without doing an automatic capacity check in the life cycle. This is already very interesting because they are saying it is an issue. There is an actual problem. Mitsubishi Motors Japan has confirmed there is an issue. The issue is about how the BMU calculates the expected degradation. Well, this is exactly what we are saying for months, years almost now, just confirmed with the MMCS question and answer sheet. And we also know that the true capacity can only be measured by a DBCAM, which is the automatic capacity check they are talking about. Okay, apart from expected battery life, the degradation data by the BMU also defines all other electric functions regarding the battery. Charging, RDD, whatever that is, I don't know what RDD is, full, empty, etc. They're also confirming now here if the battery, if the estimated state of health goes down, it defines all other electronic functions in the car. EV range, for example. The lower the state of health is, the lower the EV range is. The Outlander PHEV traction battery is deemed able to withstand long-term normal usage, driving and charging, allowing for a manufacturer's warranty of 8 years. So normal usage, they define normal usage here, driving and charging. Obviously some cars haven't been charged, which is then not a normal usage for this car. So this car needs to be charged. It's a plug-in, and they say we are giving you 8 years warranty on it. So I'm not sure if they adapt these question and answers for every country. Second question is the phenomenon known from MMC? Yes, it was an engineering choice as part of the learning curve of this first ever plug-in hybrid electric four-wheel drive system. So they're confirming they know about the issue. It was an engineering choice as part of the learning curve. So I don't quite understand what they are meaning with this. So obviously they had a learning curve and engineered this BMU software exactly like this. Okay, you need to help me with this answer. I think this is quite BS. Question 3. Did engineering hide some kind of problem with the battery? Not at all. It was an engineering choice, not a product issue. So they have programmed the software on purpose like this. Brand new 2019 models of the Outlander PHEV losing 20% capacity in less than 10,000 kilometers traveled. That is an engineering choice they made. I don't have a 2019 model. Doesn't affect me. 200,000 Outlander PHEVs sold since launch with an excellent reliability record have proved their point, backed by this real-life reliability in all driving conditions. So they have sold 200,000 Outlander PHEVs worldwide. I can confirm the car is reliable, absolutely. So I would say this statement is partly correct. I don't know what this statement has to do with the kind of battery problem the question is about. And we don't know exactly what they mean with in all driving conditions. That means in hot climates like in Australia, in pretty cold climates like in Canada, everything in between like in Europe, potentially. Does Mitsubishi Motors Corporation consider to revise the BMU function, for instance with software update? That is the question we have waited for, guys, isn't it? Okay, answer. The calculated and measured function of the BMU provides the most optimal result versus the actual state of health, and therefore the actual performance of the battery without any external capacity measurement or adjustment. Okay, so they are saying the BMU and the software works fantastic, it works optimal, and is the best they can do to estimate the actual state of health. Of course, we all know the DBCAM is the only option to write the information back in the BMU. So this is their best effort. The best results, the optimal results they came up with to come as close as possible to the actual state of health of the battery. That means if your car shows 80% state of health, your battery is not far away from that. This is what it says. The degradation we are seeing in these cars is not software. This is the actual state of health of your battery. Again, 2019 models, 15-20% less after 10,000 kilometers. This is the actual degradation of the battery. It's not the software. The software is optimal, calibrated to the state of health, to the actual state of health of the battery. That's what it says. All right. As opposed to what is claimed, such external capacity measurement cannot be performed during normal vehicle operations. That is correct. Yes, we know all that. As the vehicle has to be stationary to perform a full discharge and charge cycle. Such is the purpose of the BMU active calculation process, the DBCAM again. So, I don't know, we have not claimed, or I don't know if anyone has claimed that a capacity measurement can be carried out while the car is driving. That is, of course, totally nonsense. The battery or the car needs to be in the workshop for that, connected to the MUD device, and then you do the DBCAM as per workshop manual. So this is all nothing new. They just confirm what we already know. Therefore, a software update is not necessary. So again, there will be no software update because everything is running optimal. Question number 5. It's on the next page. The battery capacity for model year 14 to 18 is of 40 ampere hours, but there are statements made that only 38 ampere hours is used in daily operation. Is Mitsubishi Motors Corporation considering changing this? We all know the battery in the Outlander PHEV is an LEV 40 battery with 40 ampere hours, but when you pick up your car, it shows only 38 ampere hours on the dock and on the MUD device. I've shown this in my videos comparison. Okay, the answer for that is the earlier vehicle was calibrated with a value of 38 ampere hours, obviously on purpose. And also the EV range was tested with this 38 ampere hours. Yes, I can confirm this. This is a correct statement. When with my old battery, when you may remember this, when I picked up the car in 2017 and the dealership did the reset on the software and I picked up the car, I could drive 59 kilometers with it. That was my first drive, my first measurement on 37.9 ampere hours. So it wasn't quite 38 anymore, it was 37.9. Yes, that is correct. The range can be achieved with 38 ampere hours. But with a new 40 ampere hour battery, you can drive further. I have also proven this in one of my videos when I could drive 64 kilometers on 40 ampere hours, which I could not do before with only 38 ampere hours. So you can squeeze more kilometers out of the battery, of course, when you have more capacity available. Purpose was, this is just, you need to read this one. Purpose of the 38 ampere hour calibration, purpose was to compensate for possible battery degradation during transport from the manufacturing plant to final customer. So this, we need to talk about this. I mean, this is really, so then they're producing a battery with 40 ampere hour of capacity, but on purpose they calibrate the BMU only to 38 ampere hours because they know they will lose 2 ampere hours during transport. We're talking about shelf life degradation. The battery is stored inside the car in a container somewhere, and they're expecting 2 ampere hours to be lost during this process. This is 5%. 2 ampere hours of 40 is 5% loss. We know these cars are being manufactured in Japan. So if you are in Europe, if you are in the US, it may take some time, of course, to get the car over to your place. But 5% loss while the battery is stored is insane. I didn't want to use the word insane today. It is insane. So how long would you think from the manufacturer date of the vehicle until it sits in your garage? How long would that be? 6 months? 8 months? 10 months? 12? A year? We don't know. It depends where you live and how long the car has been stored. But obviously they're calculating in 5% loss during this process. I find this quite, this is unbelievable. After the start of usage of the vehicle by the customer, the BMU software adjusts the calculated state of health close to the actual state of health during normal charging. In time, the full capacity of the battery will be used. So they're explaining here that the actual BMU software adjusts itself to the calculated or to the actual state of health. And that's why we see the state of health dropping so fast. This is what that means. So obviously in the 2019 model, as an example again, because I think the 2019 models are a rare occasion of electric vehicles out there which have the massive battery degradation, which is obviously on purpose or something, and the software shows this battery degradation, and they are telling you this is not the software. The software only adjusts down to the actual state of health of the battery. So this means the actual battery is already down to 20%, or is already down by 20%. That's what this means. Because of this logic, it's logic, isn't it? We do not consider changing this. So whatever model year you have, 2013 to 2019, there will be no change. This is what you get. Mitsubishi Motors Japan will not change anything. In written. Changing the BMU initial value of 38 ampere hours on earlier models to 40 ampere hours by simply performing BMU initially would not gain any EV range, as actual state of health of the battery is different. This is not correct. I have proven this in my videos. The 40 ampere hour battery gets more EV range than a 38 ampere hour battery. Of course it does. Of course. So they are saying here the DBCAM, or the triple procedure we were talking about for a while now, and to actually calibrate the BMU to the 40 ampere hours of the battery is not necessary, because you don't gain any benefit from it. That's what this sentence says to me. Well, who came up with the triple procedure? That was the same company. Mitsubishi Motors Japan told Mitsubishi Motors Australia, do the reset, the initial, I can't say that. Do the reset, do the cell smoothing, and do the DBCAM. And bang, we got 40 ampere hours. And they have done about 20-25 vehicles here in Australia with this procedure now. And they all got calibrated after the advice from Mitsubishi Motors Corporation in Japan, and all showing now 40 ampere hours as the start value. Here it says not necessary. No benefit, no advantage of doing that. Amazing. Last question. Is Mitsubishi Motor Corporation considering to introduce a capacity measurement during maintenance to recalibrate the calculated state of health? And have a look how they have written recalibrate. Yeah, That's a recalibration. That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. So this is the question: can we introduce the triple procedure, a reset, a DBCAM, automatically in every service when we go to the dealership anyway? Answer? I think you can guess the answer. No, we do not. As explained, the calculated state of health will over time, through normal charging procedure, adjust to match as close as possible the actual state of health of the battery. So only by charging, the software will calibrate itself to the battery's state of health. This is totally wrong. As I have shown in my videos, I have shown in many graphs after a reset. I mean, we had many vehicles worldwide, not only here in Australia, in Europe and the US as well. They got reset on their battery management software, and they had the full capacity, the full range, the full EV range back without exceeding any voltages in the battery. So the adjustment, what they are talking about, from the software to the battery is not happening. This is not the actual state of health of the battery we are seeing in these cars. If this would be the actual state of health of the battery, we would not be able to fix it by a simple reset of the software. Unless we exceed the 4.1 volts and we're going higher to 4.2, and we actually further discharge the battery as well to get the full capacity in between. But this is not the case. The full reset or a triple procedure never exceeds any voltages in the battery. However, you get the full EV range back and the full capacity. The charge the car takes is fully restored to 10-11 kilowatt hours on my car now. This statement or this answer is just not true. For vehicles which are not used under normal European driving conditions. Oh, that's interesting now. So if you are not in Europe, you are not under normal driving conditions. And then it says in brackets, and never charged via normal charging. And I was thinking, what do they mean with normal charging? But then if you read the handbook, if you read the manual of your car, normal charging is with the supplied charger. This is normal charging. This is what we are doing at home here. So normal charging is a public charging station or the granny charger supplied with the car. This is normal charging. Where the BMU criteria for adjustments are not met, it could be beneficial to perform a forced capacity measurement at DBCAM. So let's read this again without comments from me. For vehicles which are not used under normal European driving conditions, where the BMU criteria for adjustments are not met, it could be beneficial to perform a forced capacity measurement. So when you drive and you charge a lot on CHAdeMO, almost every day you charge only on CHAdeMO, because maybe you can't charge at home, you don't have a garage, you don't have a power point to plug in, so you are reliant on the public charging system. We had these cases discussed in the forums. This would be a not normal driving and charging condition for this car. And this is also explained in the manual of the car. You need to plug in to a normal power point every 2 weeks at least to recalibrate the cells and to get the cell smoothing, the balancing started. So this is what they mean with normal driving conditions and not normal driving conditions. If you charge only on CHAdeMO, the BMU has never a chance to actually balance the whole battery pack. So they're basically saying if you do heaps of CHAdeMO charging, if you do a lot of DC quick charging, it is beneficial to do a DBCAM from time to time to actually get the whole battery recalibrated and readjusted, which makes sense. In general, when vehicles regularly charged by normal charging, it is not required to perform such forced calibration. And that's exactly what I just said. If you do normal charging, so at home with the granny charger or any other EVSE or public charging with a J1772 plug, it is not required to perform such forced calibration, a DBCAM. So if you charge at home, you don't need a DBCAM. Yes, and then you got the 3 stars. So far the message from Mitsubishi Motors Corporation in Japan. 6 questions they have pulled out of our forums, out of my videos, and have answered them and sent these ones out now. So you will maybe find these question and answers soon on your Mitsubishi Motors website of your country in your language. Hopefully you have seen sometimes a little bit. But yeah, as a summary, Mitsubishi Japan is not considering any software updates for the BMU problem. They're also saying this is not a software problem at all. The BMU works as designed. This is on purpose like this because the BMU software works optimal. It can determine the true state of health of the battery. That's why it is adjusting. So this tells us it is pure hardware related. It is not the software, it is the actual battery. And this statement alone kills the whole car. The whole car is totally The battery is dying very, very quickly. You're spending $50,000, 40,000 euros on this car, and 2 years later your battery is down to 70% only. Yes, you have the warranty on it, but from a pure logic perspective, from a pure economic perspective, total broken. The whole system as it is not worth the money. It is not working. So guys, so far this first impression of the question and answer. We will see once this question and answer sheet is coming up in other languages on your websites. Yeah, so please let me know what you think. I linked this document down below in the description box. You can download the PDF from Google Drive and read through it again. And please share your comments down below. I'm keen, or we are all keen, to share our thoughts now after yeah, I don't know how to actually explain this. Well, at the end we've got the explanation we were always after. We've got some communication from Mitsubishi in Japan. It is not as expected, not for me. I was thinking there will be more a proactive approach to this whole situation, and they're saying yes, we are aware of that, we are working on it, there will be a fix coming, but the opposite is the case. So we should all listen to these 6-7 people in the forums. They're always saying, don't worry, be happy, drive the car. I will stop using the PHEV watchdog now from tomorrow, and I'll just be happy, enjoy the car, because it's a great car. There's no doubt on that. It's a reliable car. That's what it says in the question and answers here. So nothing wrong with the car, apparently, nothing wrong with the software, it's the actual battery. So you're buying a dying machine. It is dying quickly. It is insane. And they want money for that. Okay guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I know this is a longer video, but we needed to go through this first now. We need to start the discussion and see what's actually going on. Is this camera... The camera focus on the background, if the background is too bright, not on me. That's better now. So, as always guys, thanks for watching, thanks for your support. This is Andy from Unplugged TV Australia, signing off. You stay charged, and we will see us soon in the next video, discussing all your questions, all your comments. There will be heaps, I know. Okay guys, see you then. Bye bye.